Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. So you guys have been asking for it, so I was willing to give it to you. You guys have been asking me for a brow tutorial, so I gave you two in one video. Beat that. I did a structured brow and a kind of more fluffy natural brow. These are the two ways that I do my brows the most. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And just in case you were wondering what is on my lips, it's MAC Glam, and no, it's not available anymore. I don't know if you can find it at like a CCO or online somewhere, but this was like a limited edition, and then they brought it back for a little bit, and it's like one of my favorite colors, and I figured if I was gonna go all like only lashes, like mascara as in lashes, I was gonna do one of my favorite bold lips. So this is one of my favorite MAC colors that no longer exists. But anyway, this is about the brows. So let's get to the brows. So I'm going to do this brow first. This is going to be the more structured brow. And for this side, I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Ebony and the Velux Brow Liner from MAC in the shade Velvet Stone, as well as Clear Brow Set. And this is from MAC. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Brow Wiz. I always take off both ends, and then I always push up my brow hairs, and then I start out by lining underneath. So I'm going to start in the front and line right under here, and I go in short strokes. And I'm starting, like, I'm putting the line right where the end of my hairs are. And then right here, I actually bring it down just a little bit so that it fills in a sparse area, and then follow this down and create a longer tail for it. Then just kind of go back and make sure that everything is even. So now you can see I have a definite line all the way underneath my brow. Now I'm going to take my brush and push all the hairs downward. And I'm going to line, like I kind of skip the front part here because I want that to be a little bit more natural, but I start right here and line the top of my brow. And again, still short strokes, and I'm just following the shape of my brow and coming down. And connecting to the tip here. So now I look a little bit like a cartoon character, but it's okay. It all will get softened up with the spoolie. The next thing I do is go up to the front right here, and I start doing little hair-like strokes upward, starting at the line that I drew. And the reason why I'm going upward right here is because that is the direction that my hairs grow. If your hairs grow another way, you need to follow the way your hairs grow. And it will look a little harsh at first, but then it'll all get blended out. And I have a little dry patch right here you can see because it's clinging to it. And then right through here, my hair starts to go the opposite way. So I start to fill in the direction that the hairs are going, and I just always go back and just making sure, kind of go back and forth, making sure that it's nice and even. And then that is filled in, so I go and push these back down, and because these are pointed down, I fill in downward. And I go in and fill in the tail as well. Now I'm going to soften the top line first. So I do that by going downward. So that softened that line, and then I really push up right here. I put a lot of pressure on the front to try to get it as blended as possible, and then less pressure as I go back and push up the hairs. So now what I do is take my clear brow set, which mine isn't so clear anymore because I've used it so much, and I press this into, or I guess I brush it through, I don't really press it through. I brush it through my brows, and I always push them upward. And then make sure it's all shaped how I want it to be. I go through it a few times. And then I go in and clean it up with my soft ochre paint pot, which I didn't even mention in the products that you need. So you need soft ochre paint pot or any paint pot you use or concealer. So I'm taking MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and this is just a synthetic brush from Urban Decay. And I'm gonna grab some of that, and I'll start down here so that I don't get too much product up there, and then I go up and I clean up right underneath the brow and blend that out. This will clean up any mistakes that you have. I never go above the brow. So I never come up here and clean it up that way. I only clean it up underneath. And then to further prime the rest of my eye, I go in with another brush. This is the MAC 235. This was limited edition, but I only use it to put on my paint pot anyway. And I just finished priming the rest of my eye. Then to bulletproof my brow, I go back through it with brow gel once or twice more. For the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go once more. So that is the structured side. Let's do the other side. All right, so when I want a more natural brow, I usually will go for the brow definer, and this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this color again is in Ebony. And I take both ends off. This one has more of like a triangular shape, which I really like. And I do the same thing. I push all the brow hairs upward, and then I go in the front first as well. So here, I like to have the tip, so it's kind of like a triangle, the tip part, I always have it downward, and I flick upward. So I'll go right here where I'm a little bit more sparse, and have stripe, stripe, stripe. So it's more like hair-like strokes. So my hair is going upward here, so that's where I'm directing my strokes, and then I bring it more straight once I get to the front. So you can see this is a little bit more kind of like fluffy looking, and then I will kind of line right underneath here and then bring down the tail. And I push these out, and then I kind of fill these out like this. And fluff it, make sure it's nice and filled how I want it to look. It's gonna be so funny, my brows are gonna look like two different brows when I'm done. And then if I get too crazy with the tail, I'll usually just take the spoolie and go down some. Now I push my brow hairs down again, so they look like this. And then I start kind of like how I started over here with the line. I start downward strokes to fill in the sparse areas here. And this time, the pointy part is upward. So I always have the pointy part wherever I'm going to start the stroke. So starting at the top, so it's at the top. And then I'll push my brow hairs back up. And I'll kind of be nitpicky and just kind of go back over anything I feel like I need to. But then again, I go in with my brow set. And if I see anything like this right here drive me nuts, I'll just fill that in real quick. And then I'm going to go in with my soft ochre paint pot and clean this up the same way I did this side. I've got my eye primed, so of course I'm going to go back through this brow one more time, really making sure that these are nice and fluffy. And there you go, there's the two different ones. I kind of feel like I look a little silly right now, like two different brows. I don't know how it looks on camera, but in person it's like, ooh, so fluffy, and this one's like, it's done. But anywho, I hope you guys found this informative. I know you guys have been asking for this, so here it is. Please give me 2 thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!